Today we're going to be taking a look at psychology. Psychology is a field in which the inner processes of the brain are studied in an effort to understand them. There are many different divisions of psychology, but all seek to explain and understand how the mind works through different perspectives and methods. With the prospects of the field of psychology being so vast, some psychologists seek to look at specific areas of the mind, and below are some of the many types of psychological perspectives. One of the first is neuroscience. It incorporates how sensory experiences, emotions, and memories are created by the brain. Second is evolutionary psychology. It looks at the natural selection of traits and how it has allowed for the survival of specific genes. Third is behavioral genetics. It examines how our individual genetics and environment play a role in our individual differences. Fourth, we have psychodynamic psychology. It examines behavior derived from subconscious drives and conflicts. Fifth, we have behavioral psychology. It studies how we as humans develop and learn through observable outcomes to situations. Sixth, we have cognitive psychology. It examines how our minds are able to create, process, store, retrieve, and utilize various types and levels of information. And seventh, we have sociocultural psychology. It takes a look at how other cultures and situations vary in their methods of behavior and thinking in an attempt to find differences. And on the right-hand side, we have two charts. The first chart here explains the biopsychosocial approach. It incorporates a variety of all of the other methods that we previously discussed in the previous slide, such as biological influences, psychological influences, and social cultural influences, and how those change and reflect in behavior and mental processes. In the second chart, we have another explanation of the scientific attitude, which basically goes over the three basic attitudes that help make modern science possible, and they are curiosity, skepticism, and humility. These are all three things that psychologists have to deal with on a daily basis when they're going through their experiments and testing phases. First, they're curious about how something works, and then they want to know how, and they have to realize that once they actually test something, that their thoughts and findings may be wrong, and they have to accept that. Researchers must also be willing to accept how their beliefs and ideas did not exactly follow their predictions. I saw this as something that would be necessary to put in to today's presentation because I feel that it actually is something that has to be incorporated in all the different types of psychology that we mentioned. And we'll be back next time with Chapter 2.